We're going to start the belief again. Sorry, the casino again. I'm going to open the Vampire Survivors back up. I'm going to go to my options menu and turn off damage numbers. Okay, sounds good to me. I have performance mode is on. That's pretty cool. What the heck? Get me out of here. Start me up. And what about Demario? Starts with the Bible. Has not done any of the levels. Unlock. Oh, dude, I gotta buy some unlocks. I have 11,000 gold. I was about to save money like an asshole. Why don't we... Let's just run it back. Let's get a 1 and a 1 and a 1, 2, 3. Baby on board. Oh, how I adore. Maybe you just give me 1 revive. Oh, I can't even afford it anymore. Whoops. Anyway, whatever. Just give me 1 of each. Wouldn't it be nice with the bird of paradise, with my baby on board? Okay. Oh, now I can't afford the Mario, dude. Okay, whatever. Let me get Pasqualina. We didn't use Rune Tracer last time. Put me back in the Gallo Tower. Sure, why not? Whoa! Gives plus... Yeah, this is the best one, right? Do I have a choice of what to take? You do. I can take any of the 3 that I've unlocked. Healing is doubled, recovering HP damages nearby enemies for the same amount. Listed weapon projectiles gain bounces of up to 3 bounces. I don't have any of those weapons. I'm starting with Rune Tracer. I don't know, dude. I mean, projectile bounce sounds pretty fun, though. Bounces are pog. Okay, let's take... People said bounces are pog. Let's take bounces. I'm walking up. I'm walking up this time. All right, sorry, the XP. I don't want any of this shit. I'm gonna choose to banish the Laurel again, so I don't have to choose. I forgot the XP congeals. Wait a minute, do I even want a bracer? Because a bracer synergizes with a knife. This doesn't seem like a great knife level. Bracer is also good with Rune Tracer. Okay. You know, you said you wanted to cause violence in my stream today, and yet here you are, just supporting me. What's up with that? It's very helpful. I'm not complaining. We want projectiles. The cross must be a projectile that would work with us. I'm going to take cross. I'm going cross. It must bounce. It must. They're all good. Don't worry. Hey, look, it's bouncing. Look at this. Dude, it's insane. It's unbelievably good. And I just got to stay in these tiny rooms. Holy cow, I'm gonna be swimming in it, man. Yeah, I want Duplicator next time. I thought about taking it this time, but I was like, you know, let me get the synergy first, even though I obviously want both. Wait, it doesn't, now that I think about it for 2 seconds, it doesn't make any sense at all. Rune Tracer. It actually will just bounce off the edges of the screen? Really? If the cross don't bounce, you must renounce. Johnny Cochran hooping it up in the end one. This sounds like a midship AI art prompt. Johnny Cochran in the end one 3v3 basketball league. Can I share a parenting milestone with you, by the way? we were reading Hop on Pop last night. I know! Dr. Seuss, recent right-wing hero, okay? I'm sorry, but we got the books. And honestly, I do want to say that I when we first got the Dr. Seuss books, I was talking a lot of smack about Dr. Seuss. I was saying he's not actually a classic artist, or author, I should say. Because, like, so many of the books are just like, hey, look at this. He's a bip. Have you ever seen a bip dip? I'd like to give a tip to a dipping bip or something like that. But now that we're reading, like, the longer books, I'm banishing the crown. Don't want to see it. Now that we're reading the longer books, I have a little bit more respect for Dr. Seuss. I think they're, you know, they teach you a little bit about language and conjugation and pluralization and just having fun. They tell a little story sometimes. Anyway, long story short, we were reading the full version, the extended edition of Hop on Pop. And it says, like, my other brother's a little kid. He reads short words like if and it. My dad can read longer words too, like Constantinople and Timbuktu. Now, you may not believe me. My child is very verbal. She said Constantinople. But it was like Constantinople. And I was like, what? Excuse me? What did you just say? And then she said Constantinople. And she's just been repeating that like all day. She just keeps going around saying Constantinople. It's crazy. It's throwing me for a loop. She's cracked. Dude, she's verbally cracked. I feel like it's a burden to have a smart baby, because now I'm like, fuck, now I gotta be like a good dad. Why couldn't she just be like really strong or something like that? Then I could like slack off a little bit. I'd be like, oh, whatever. You'll probably just go like, you know, work at the Port Metro Vancouver or something like that. Instead, she's really smart. I gotta like nurture her education, you know? Like, I was really tired yesterday, but she'd been watching her iPad for like half an hour. We can't go outside because it's like raining really, really badly. So I was like, okay, honey, like, it's time for me to be a good dad. I don't think you should watch your iPad anymore. And she's like, I want to watch my iPad. And I was like, listen, that would be great because then I could play Marvel Snap. But instead, I got to be a good dad. So I endured the temper tantrum. And then we started doing like some, you know, puzzles and stuff like that. We did a little drawing. We did a little, look at these paints. You can make like wall art. You can put it up on your windows and stuff like that. And then she was having a great time, but I was like, man, I mean, you gotta do it, don't get me wrong. I was like, man, it's so easy to just be like, nah, just keep watching Baby Shark videos on your iPad. I can see why people do it. Fire wand bounces too. Let's go! Let's go. I guess that's where, because previously I have said, like, whenever people use the phrase iPad kid derisively, I have to realize that I'm coming at this from the parental standpoint, where, like, especially new parents are fucking crazy, and are like, and it's their kid, and they're doing it for, like, good reasons, but they'll say things like, oh, we didn't let our kid even look at any kind of electronic screen until they were like 5 years old, and now we let them watch like half an hour of educational content like once a week on Saturdays or something like that. And I'm like, that's, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm jealous, but I'm like, I guess I'm proud of you for sticking to your guns. That's like probably a good thing. But also, like, what do you do? Like, no disrespect, but like, do you not have like a job? I don't think I could do that shit if I was employed. Like, you got shit to... Do you have somebody that, like, cleans your house or something like that? Do you have, like, a nanny or an au pair or something like that? Because, like, you gotta... Even, like, sometimes Kate's working, and I gotta, like, fucking clean my house a little bit, or, like, do the dishes at least. Then, yeah, she's gonna watch some, like, Baby Shark on the iPad or something, because, like, you know, life's got to go on. People are like, I never let my kid watch, like, any TV or videos at all. I'm like, when your house must look like, no offense, it must look like fucking shit right now. Your house must look like detritus. It must be a disaster in there. It doesn't make any sense. Unless the kid's cleaning it up, maybe. Or maybe they have a nanny. But honestly, like, if you have a nanny and you're giving parenting advice, it's like when people are, like, giving advice for how to save money, and then like, how I paid off $100,000 in student loans in 2 years, and then they're like, well, I didn't buy any lattes, I made my coffee at home, and my parents paid off the last $91,000. Like, that's not, I don't want your parenting advice. I want parenting advice from people that, you know, they're going through the same thing. I wouldn't say I almost lost it, but, and we're doing great. I love my family. I want to just start by saying that. I love my wife, I love my daughter, I love my parents, and I guess I love my, like, in-laws. I don't know how to phrase it. Like, it's not the same kind of connection, but I'm happy they're part of the family. I don't dislike my in-laws. I would do a lot for them. Anything, I would have to take that on a case-by-case basis. But anyway, I was talking, there were 2 other dads doing daycare pickup with me on Thursday. And our daycare doesn't do Fridays, okay? It's Monday through Thursday. So there was a new dad, like, his kid is the same age as our kids, but he's new to this daycare. And he was like, what do you guys do on Fridays? And I said, well, my wife and I both work from home. You notice I didn't get into what we're doing, but I said, my wife and I both work from home, so we basically just trade off. She takes the baby in the morning, I take the baby in the afternoon and the early evening. Another dad said, my parents live a few hours away, so most Fridays, they come down in the morning and just take care of the kid, like, all day. And then we, you know, once we get home from work, we sub in on the parenting duty. And then I swear to you, the other dad said, that's crazy. My parents also live in the same town, and that's pretty much what they do every Friday. And I was like, are you fucking... Listen, it's never easy, necessarily, but I've been sharing war stories with these guys, like we're all in the damn trenches, and I realize they're the ones going, all right, lads, once more into the breach, and they're sitting there on the radio figuring out what to do. I'm the one ducking under machine gun fire and trying to advance no man's land by, like, 6 inches. Please take the fire wand. Okay, it's done. I'm like, we're out here, we're doing this, we're doing it all ourselves. Like, my parents live a 5-hour airplane ride away, and they come down 2 times a year for a, you know, an extended period and help out pretty nicely. It's very helpful. The first couple of times, it was a little bit like I had to get my parents back up to speed. They raised me, but babies have changed a lot in the intervening 30 years, I guess, so we had to... It had been a while since they've been in the baby minds, so we got them back up to speed, and now they're like... They're good with it. Kate's parents are just kind of like living life, and it's their right, don't get me wrong. Like, one of the first times, it's like our daughter was like a week old. We had her in, like, her baby lounger. We were all eating lunch. Watching the baby. She's like a week old. She's not doing anything. And then Kate's mom came over to the baby and was like, I think she's cold, and was like trying to put a blanket on her. And Kate was like, please don't do that. Like, she's fine, I promise you. And she's like, no, she's cold. She put the blanket on her. Like 30 seconds later, I looked over and the blanket had somehow gotten, like, directly over her face. And I, like, you know, dude, your kid's a week old. I was like, ah! Went over and, like, yanked it off, and she was fine. Like, she didn't even know what was going on. But it was a bit of a tense family moment. And, from that point onwards, we've pretty much been like, you know what, maybe we'll just handle our own babysitting for now. So I was like, we're doing all this stuff, you know, in duos. I didn't realize some people out here, and they shouldn't like, not do this. You know, they should leverage whatever they got available to them. But I didn't realize some people out here playing squads. Kate and I are duo queuing into squads. And then we're going up against entire families. No wonder, like, sometimes at the end of the weekend, I'm like, I'm so fucking tired. But then again, you're absolutely right. I have to remember that there's also some people out there playing solo, which is crazy. And then there's some people out there playing solo and then not even running the daycare. Like, at least we got the, you know, we got the autobattler on, like, 4 days a week for, like, 9 hours or whatever. Some people out there running solo, no daycare, multiple kids. Holy, you got my, not my sympathy because that sounds insulting. You have my adoration. You have my respect, I guess. That's more the way I'm looking for. That's crazy, man. You ever get look like dad's babysitting comments? No, I've seen that. I've seen some scuttlebutt about that online. That, like, whenever the mom is with the kids in public, people are always like, of course, mom has the kid. Whenever dad has the kid, they're like, whoa, dude, it's Father of the Year. Guys, like, this dude is outside with his child on a Saturday at the grocery store. I've never had it happen to me. I've also never had the true nightmare scenario happen, which is your kid throws a temper tantrum, and then you're trying to, like, get them into your car or something like that, and people start following you and filming you because they think that you're abducting your own child. I never want it to happen to me, but if it happened to me, I bet I would be like, hey, can you send me a copy of that video? Because I'm about to take your ass for all it's worth. You know what? It's like the same whenever I walk into, like, a store, when I've purchased something else at another store and don't have a receipt, I'm like, I beg you. Yeah, I definitely bought this stuffed animal from the pharmacy. Yeah, oh, you want to detain me? Okay, why don't you make my fucking day? Yeah, why don't you call the cops? Why? Come on, hit me. I want you to hit me. Bitrate survivors. So true. It's probably better for people to care if there's a child being abducted. Well, like, it's one of those things where it's like, I don't know. I don't want to say mind your own business. I just feel like and by the way, it's awkward timing on my end. Thank you, David. Thank you for the gifted subscriptions. Appreciate it. I saw the tweets. Not me working at a restaurant being stressed out every day and then getting home and playing Cook Serve Delicious and saying, oh, this is so relaxing. That tweet lives rent-free in my mind. I don't work in a restaurant, but I'm like, man, this game is so good. It's so stressful. I bet it's just like the real thing. But, I mean, I feel like Facebook and social media have made people think that, like, I'm not going on record as being the guy saying child abduction doesn't happen. But I feel like like, you have to understand that what is the relative frequency of someone's own child throwing a tantrum in Canadian Tire versus a random child being abducted in Canadian Tire? If the frequency has got to be like 5,000 or probably 10,000 to 1, 100,000 to 1. I can't believe I even said 5,000 first. It's got to be like 100,000 to 1 or something like that. Maybe even more than... Well, yeah, actually, it's got to be way more than that. I'm still like... I'm just saying you're going to run into, like... You're going to run into false positives a lot. So, like... I don't know. I read a post on, like, the dad subreddit where I get some of my finest advice. That was like, they tried to block me from getting out of the parking lot. Like, they First off, they filmed me putting, like, my son in his car seat, and then they drove, like, their car to block me into my parking spot so I couldn't get out until, like, the cops got there, and I was like, I fucking beg you. I beg you to do that shit. I don't know if it's... I don't know if I have any legal recourse to financially ruin you for that, but if there is, I'm gonna find it. I'm gonna find it. The Sahara of Healing. Or Awake. Okay, we'll take Awake on this one. I don't think we have any healing right now. Imagine how many anecdotes you get out of it. I know. I mean, it would, in many ways, it would be the worst thing and the best thing that ever happened to me. Much like in this, like, the Salmonella and Campylobacter infections were, like, really bad. I never want it to happen again. But it made for a good arc. That's, like, the defining arc of 2022. It added some flavor to this year. Like, there's some years where, like, when you're in them, you're like, whoa, this is a crazy year. Then when you finish it, you're like, I don't remember shit that happened in 2015. 2014, I don't know. I think, like, The Interview came out. Like, I don't know. That was the year I was running. Okay, yeah, I remember that. But then, like, 2022, I'm gonna be like, oh, that was Little Caesar. That was the Little Caesar year. Oh, yeah, I remember that. What the heck is this? Oh, it's money time! Gold fever. This is a pretty good gold fever. It never ends. Guess what? It's not gonna end. More. More. It's the greatest gold fever I've ever... It's over?! How did it end? We were still picking up gold. The timer... Doesn't the timer get more juice when you pick up gold? That's still pretty good. Remember I had the, like, $37 gold fever last time? Holy cow, that's a big boy. Watch out for him. Oh, I forgot this is the level with the damn crab on it, man. We gotta get ready. We got the DPS check. The teleporting crab. Oh, absolutely. Yes. This is gonna be our first evolution. Honestly, it's over. I think we already won. Anyway, what was I talking about? Yeah. People thinking, oh, you have 2 Evos already. Oh, that's pretty true. Good point. Nevertheless, I was talking about people thinking, I was mentally preparing a psychotic boomer fantasy where people don't think my kid is my own kid and then I sue them for all they're worth, also known as the American dream. Man, we should all be so lucky as to be falsely accused of a heinous crime by somebody who took video evidence of themselves doing said crime and then taking them for all their work in civil litigation. It's like in Office Space where the guy's like, he's trying to kill himself in his own garage. Then he sees his wife's face. And he decides he wants to live. So he pretends he was just going out to the grocery store, backs his car up, and immediately gets T-boned. Guy's paralyzed, but he's set for life. Lucky dog. Yeah, and then he takes her face off. Are you okay? I didn't write Office Space. That's the plot of the movie. That's one of the side plots, at least. This is an extremely unhinged stream. It's not even. This is like pretty, like, normal levels of hingedness. We had some unhinged ones last week. This one's relatively normal. Although I don't know what the hell Mouth was talking about. I called him Matt. I don't know what the hell Mouth was talking about for like half of the things that he said. Imagine if you had a really tall building where the elevator only went to the bottom top 50%. When he was trying to explain it to me, I was like, what is he talking about? The top bottom 50%? He did also say he didn't like The Expanse. Well, no, well, kinda. He said The Expanse, he never got, he washed out in the first season. I mean, you can like something and then just never watch more of it. It happens. Like, sometimes you're like, oh, that was really good, but it, like, watching that episode was kind of like, it took it out of me. And then you just never go back. It's been known to happen. I was losing it. This is like a little too city-pilled, okay? But on Saturday, very early Saturday morning, we went downtown. So we parked in like a big office building parking lot. But now, to be fair, there was a big sign that said public pay parking here. And it was very close to the destination we were trying to go to, okay? So we said, okay, we'll just park in this public pay parking lot. Drive into the bowels of the earth, you know, I'm on P71 or whatever. Finally, there's open spots. We go up through the elevator. We're in, like, the lobby of an office building, a very nice office building. And I was like, okay, just remember where this building is so we can get to our car. A couple hours later, come back to the place where our car was parked. Try to open the door. Door doesn't open. Try to, open another door, because it's a huge building. There's like 1,000 doors on it. Door's locked. Of course it's locked. It's Saturday. Nobody's in the office building. People are going into and out of the building, but they're all like doing the thing where like, you can't follow me. You can't follow me. I respect that. We deal with the same thing in our building. I'm not trying to be the guy who's going to like sidle right by you, even though I literally have like a 2-year-old in tow and you might have allowed me. Not trying to make anybody uncomfortable. So we call the helpline for the parking lot. And I say, hey, we're at, like, you know, building X, but we can't get in because the front door is locked. And they said, oh, yeah, for that parking lot, to get to the parking lot where you parked, you actually have to go in through another unrelated building, and then the two buildings are connected underground. So then we're like, okay, so I hung up on the helpline, and I go to this other building. It's like half a block away, and there's, like, a security guard standing in front of the door. And I said, oh, we're parked here. And he said, we're filming something inside right now. You can't come in. What the hell are you talking about? I'm looking inside. There's just like PAs and stuff just like sitting around. They're like shuffling around like food on like serving trays and something like that. I'm like, well, we have to get in. We just have to get in for like a second because we parked here. And he's like, okay, let me check. So they go in and like talk to somebody and they're like, okay, you can come in. And I'm like, yeah, I know. We parked here. And then we go to the elevator, and I say, Kate, can you hit the elevator button to go down to the parking garage? It's one of those elevators, for security reasons, it doesn't have an elevator button. Instead, you go to like a little scanner, and you scan your ID, or some kind of credential, and then an elevator door opens up, and it only goes to the floor that your credentials allow you to go to. So it's just a smooth, featureless wall. So we can't even open up the elevators. Anyway, we walk around the lobby a little bit, and then finally we see a sign for the parking lot, or for the parking company, and it's got like a QR code on it. We scan the QR code, the elevator door opens and takes us down to where our car is. And then you got to pay, because they don't give you a paper ticket anymore. When you scan the QR code, it takes you to a website. The website lets you enter your payment details, because the fucking paper ticket, insert your credit card and then insert the ticket system was too complicated, I guess. So you get on your phone, it takes you to a payment portal. So I'm down there trying to pay for my parking. I'm typing my credit card number in on fucking on my phone keyboard, okay? And then it says can't complete payment. And I say, why? And then I remember, oh, because we're fucking on P71 and the internet connection doesn't go that deep into the earth. So we had to drive up through like 75% of the parking lot, find an empty space, park our car, go back to the phone, take 5 minutes to enter my payment into the phone, then it just says, okay, like, you're good. And I don't know what's gonna happen. We drive up to the gate and we're just sitting there and the gate is just like, just doing this. And then after like 10 seconds, it goes, and it comes, like, I don't know if it has to, there's a camera that's looking at our license plate and it's like, did they pay? And then it sends a ping to a satellite, which then sends it down to like a server farm. Then they're like, they're running through the, yes, okay, they paid. Now send the signal back to the satellite to open the door. Like, this shit is crazy, man. Anyway, what item do I want here? Tome, thank you. I thought so. I assumed so. It's just too much, man. Did you cheer when you got out? No, but actually it made me happy to have a kid. And this is gonna sound weird, but maybe other parents will relate, or maybe not. But like, I think before I had a kid, that shit would have ruined my day. I didn't even want to go downtown anyway. Why didn't I just park at a lot that I always park at so I know the parking system? But then, like, you know, when you have your kid in the car, you can't be, like, that evil. So instead, I was just like, we got out, and then I took, like, a deep breath, and I was like, okay, what are we going to do for, like, the rest of the day? Like, rather than be, like, mad and, like, grumpy about it for no reason, I was like, you know what? That was like a fun adventure. Let's, like, you know, now we'll have some fun. But like, childless me, age 27, I would have been like, this is so stupid. I can't believe somebody's got to talk to this company. And me with a 2-year-old in the car, age 33, trying to figure out what we're going to do for lunch when my wife and daughter went through the McDonald's drive-thru yesterday. I can't remember what we did, but she ate very well. Do you act different when your wife's in the car versus when you're alone? Yeah, when my wife's in the car, I'm like, under the sea, darling, it's better down where it's wetter, take it from me. Up on the shore, they work all day, out in the sun, they slave away, while we're devoting full time to floating under the doo-doo-doo-doo. And then when I'm in the car by myself, I'm like, I've seen your pin shot. Your name in lights above it. It comes in blueprint blue. It sure looks good on you. And when you smile for the camera, I know I loved you better. It's more like that. And then it's more like a little, more like a little pig. You know, it's kind of like that. Bro, what? Can I take none? I'd like to take none of these. You could take knife and then walk to the bracer. That's an astute observation. That's an astute observation. Wait, I can't even... Oh, no, I can hold the brace. Holy cow, that was fast. I know Michael McDonald sings background vocals on Peg. That's why the first half of the singing was like a Steely Dan impression. The second half was the Michael McDonald. Also, can I say big ups to the guy who directed the viewing episode of the Cabinet of Curiosities? It's Cosmatos. Is that his name? He also directed Mandy. Bracers a little further. For including one of the all-time greatest songs of the 70s, What a Fool Believes, in a humorous smash cut during the episode. Dunk, dank, dunk, dee, donkey, dunk, donkey, dunk, da, dunk, donkey, donkey, dunk, donkey, dunk. Bracer got me a movie, want you to know. Slicing up eyeballs, want you to know. Etc., etc. Want to grow up to be the guy who gets bracer. Would you recommend Cabinet of Curiosities to someone who's not great with horror? I don't know. I think if you don't like horror because of jump scares, but you like the idea of being, like, creeped out, then sure. If you don't like most horror stuff typically, then I would definitely say no. Like, it's not that scary, but if you don't like horror stuff, that's definitely the genre in which it operates. What's cool about the show, I think, is that everybody... I shouldn't say everybody. Most people seem to agree on the top 2 episodes being the autopsy and the viewing. Not everybody. Then it seems like everybody else has, like, one other episode that they're like, this one was also really good, but it's different for everybody. Like, I was really vibing with The Outside. A little quirky, a little creepy, a little, you know, humorous, a little Fargo-pilled. A lot of people say, like, no, dude, The Outside was, like, way over long and, like, wasted so much time. I'm into Lot 36 with Tim Blake Nelson. I'm into Pickman's Model with Crispin Glover. Nobody seems to really be that into the Rat episode. I thought the Rat episode was okay. Hold on, I'm vibing. Rats, we're the rats. I'm the giant rat who makes all the rules, etc., etc. Evolved Knife. How was Rupert Grint? It was a fun episode. It was a fun episode, in my opinion. I mean, I liked all the episodes. I guess I'll take the Saraband of Healing. Never mind. Even the ones I didn't love, I mean, it's hard to, like, hate... Well, that's not true. I was going to say it's hard to hate stuff in an anthology show. But that second to last season of Black Mirror, I hated, like, almost every episode. I hated Street Fighter fucking... I hated Amazon delivery robot dogs are killing everybody. I hated... what if a woman committed one crime and then had to continue to commit crimes in order to cover up the one crime to the point of absurdity? I hated, like, absolutely every single... I'm trying to think of what else was in that season. The one crime... Bandersnatch? Listen, I might have already... You know, it's like when you go into something with a preconceived notion... You're more likely to have a reaction that it is in line with your expectation, I think. I definitely hated Bandersnatch as well. I like the idea, I suppose, but I did not enjoy Bandersnatch. But I just think at this point, like, Black Mirror, like, it lost me, and it just, like, unless it came out with, like, the best episodes of all time, it couldn't get me back. It's more of a knock on my ability to... What? No. No. This is tricky, okay? Because if we go always, I mean, what if we go always, but then we don't need the chickens? We could have gotten more coins. Oh, if missing, only if missing health. You're right. Only if missing health. Don't stand on the staircase, man. I mean, I see the chest there. You're really gonna make me keep moving? We got 7.5 minutes here. I think we're okay. Just go into the mirror and banter. Yeah, but this unlocks something for me. Ah! This unlocks something in my brain. I love anthology shows, though. It's really like a Black Mirror. Seasons like 1... Was it 1 through 4? Or is 4 the one where things started to get off the rails? And then 5 is the one I didn't watch. 1 through 3 are definitely goated. 4 is the last season? The one with the Miley Cyrus episode, right? You hate 4? I feel like I liked some of 4. Which season has the Bryce Dallas Howard episode about the social credit system? That's 3? Okay, so season 3 was like the last one that was like, everybody was like, maybe it's slightly worse than it used to be, but it's still really interesting. And then 4 was the one where like half of the episodes are pretty good, and then the other half of the episodes you're like, oh no, they're out of ideas. Because season 4 then had like, Jodie Foster installs spyware in her daughter. Is that correct? No, that was 3 too? Wait a minute. I gotta figure this out. Well, I don't have to. It wasn't Jodie Foster? Wasn't it Jodie Foster? I thought it was Jodie Foster. It was Jodie Foster. Why are you trying to gaslight me? I'm Jodie pilled, man. No, it was not Jodie Foster. Was it Helen Hunt? Okay. The dating one was pretty good. I remember that. She directed it. Okay. I got it confused. She directed it. What about the VR one? It wasn't one of my favorites of the seasons, but I mean that VR episode with Wyatt Russell playtest, that's like my perfect example of like, even when anthology shows are not necessarily great, they're still pretty good. Like, I kind of like a formulaic anthology show where you're like, there's going to be like 20 minutes of setup. Look at the size of his pincer. There's going to be 20 minutes of setup. They're going to get up to some stuff, and then there's going to be a twist ending. Like, I'm into that. Maybe it's a little basic, but I'm into it. Shoot the crab, please. Shoot the crab. He's dead. Get owned. You stink. You suck. Is it possible to lose this game? It seems so easy. Yes, yes, no, no, no. Don't tempt fate. I mean, I just don't see what could stop us. The crab didn't even come close. By the way, how's the bitrate with no damage numbers? Better? Three-piece money bag! He did it. We have 7,000 gold. One of the finest gold mines I've ever known. It's my 30th birthday today. Any advice? I really, like, I could go into the bit again, but I really just, I defer to the tweet that is like, when you're like the old and young continuum. It's like when you're 18, you're young. 19th birthday, young. 20th birthday, old. 21st birthday, young. 22nd birthday, young. 23rd birthday, young. 24th birthday, young. 25th birthday, old as dirt. 26th birthday, young. That right now, if you're struggling with aging, or the concept of aging, because you're turning 30 and it's the oldest you've ever been, just know that soon your frame of reference changes. Soon, I mean, your peers age with you. You're going to be hanging out with less people in their 20s, and you're going to realize that, like, 30 is still young. 30 seems old. 33 seems so young. You know how many old dads I'm seeing in my life right now? I know we went through this again, like, last Friday, but I really feel like feeling old is was just going to right-click this one. There we go. Feeling old, like maybe there's a point where you just feel old forever. Maybe when you turn 65 or 70, you're like, I'm old, and it's never changing. But I definitely feel like 33 feels younger than 30, even though obviously that's objectively false. But I feel like, you know, 40 is older than 30, but like 42 is younger than 30. Because you're always looking like, you know, within the 10 years plus or minus around you, right? What are you talking about? Well, I don't know, the idea that, like, people will literally, like, turn 25 and be like, I'm old as hell. You're like, you're not old at all. You're not even, like, halfway, maybe you're halfway old at this point. But, like, when you've been not 25 for your whole life, to then turn 25 is like, oh shit, this is the oldest I've ever been. I don't know if that's making any sense. I don't know if this is making my point better or worse, or if if I'm just talking. It's not. I would say, okay, one element of it is the older you get, the wider your social circle is likely to become in terms of age. So when you're 18 and a friend of yours is turning 20, you're like, holy shit, you're like literally a grandparent. But when you're 30 and you have coworkers that are 70 and you have coworkers that are 21, you know, you don't feel as old anymore. Once you get out of like the scholastic environment where everybody's like aged into like specific brackets. The other thing is, I think you start looking at, you know, like what you've got instead of like what you stand to lose. So like, what have I really lost going from like, you know, 20 to 30? Not that much. At least I'm not, you know, you start to realize that who cares if you're getting older as long as it's like not affecting your health necessarily or your like, you know, ability to survive and enjoy life. Excuse me? You're calling me, you're saying I'm going to the graveyard? I mean, well, you're 30 though. Oh, I see. We're just Kate says you're old, I guess. I'm trapped! What happened? Oh, no, it was Dracula. Okay. I was like, I think I lost somehow. I got so scared. I was in such a false sense of security. Stage completed. We're not reviving. We're getting out of here. Oh, man, that was scary. Oh. For the last time, it's not Dracula? Then why is the game called Vampire Survivors? I don't understand.